A single father named Ethan spent weekends exploring forgotten farms, searching for abandoned vehicles others considered worthless. He worked as a modest mechanic during weekdays, raising his young son alone after losing his wife years earlier. Every rusty machine represented hope rather than scrap. He believed patience, honesty, and craftsmanship often uncovered treasures hidden beneath decades of neglect. One rainy afternoon, an elderly farmer invited Ethan into an old wooden barn scheduled for demolition. Dust floated through broken windows, while forgotten equipment rested beneath faded tarps. In the darkest corner sat a neglected Ferrari buried under hay, covered with dirt, bird feathers, and years of silence. Nobody remembered exactly how it had arrived there decades earlier. The faded red paint barely remained visible beneath thick dust. Flat tires rested on cracked concrete, while rust covered several metal surfaces. Missing badges and broken lights convinced everyone the sports car belonged in a scrapyard. The farmer laughed gently, saying nobody had shown interest despite countless visitors examining the forgotten vehicle throughout recent years. Ethan walked slowly around the Ferrari, noticing details others ignored. The original frame remained straight, factory markings appeared untouched, and hidden identification numbers matched authentic production records. Although the engine refused to turn, something about the car suggested remarkable history. Trusting experience over appearance, he offered the farmer every dollar he had saved for months. Friends questioned Ethan's decision immediately. They believed buying an abandoned Ferrari with uncertain history would destroy his finances. Instead of defending himself, Ethan quietly transported the neglected car home using an old trailer. His young son smiled proudly, believing his father could repair anything through determination, patience, and careful attention to every forgotten mechanical detail. For several months, Ethan worked every evening after finishing regular repair jobs. He carefully removed rust, restored wiring, rebuilt the engine, polished chrome, repaired suspension components, and replaced damaged seals. Whenever expensive replacement parts exceeded his budget, he fabricated precise alternatives himself. His workshop slowly transformed into a museum preserving automotive history with remarkable dedication and craftsmanship. Neighbors watched the restoration with growing curiosity. Children visited after school, fascinated by the changing Ferrari. Elderly mechanics stopped occasionally, offering advice and encouraging stories about classic racing machines. Ethan accepted every helpful suggestion with gratitude, believing shared knowledge strengthened communities. His son learned valuable lessons about perseverance, humility, responsibility, and respecting honest work above instant success or recognition. Months later, a prestigious classic automobile exhibition invited enthusiasts nationwide to display exceptional restorations. Ethan hesitated because his Ferrari still carried minor imperfections. Friends convinced him authenticity mattered more than flawless cosmetics. Loading the finished car onto a trailer, he and his son traveled together, excited simply to share their journey with fellow automobile enthusiasts. The exhibition attracted wealthy collectors, luxury dealers, famous restorers, and respected auction representatives. Polished classics reflected bright showroom lights while judges inspected every vehicle carefully. Ethan parked quietly near the entrance, avoiding unnecessary attention. His Ferrari displayed modestly without expensive decorations, allowing craftsmanship rather than extravagant presentation to represent years of determined effort and unwavering commitment. Among the guests stood Victor, an extremely wealthy collector, famous for purchasing rare automobiles at astonishing prices. Wearing an expensive tailored suit, he examined Ethan's Ferrari briefly before laughing loudly. He mocked the simple display, calling it a barn relic, polished beyond reason. Several spectators chuckled, believing Victor's confidence reflected superior knowledge and unquestionable experience. Victor publicly declared no serious collector would spend meaningful money upon such an ordinary restoration. He criticized small cosmetic flaws, questioned replacement components, and dismissed Ethan's background as nothing more than a neighborhood mechanic. Ethan responded politely, thanking Victor for sharing opinions. Instead of arguing, he invited everyone simply to examine the Ferrari closely before reaching conclusions. Professional judges soon inspected the vehicle carefully. They discovered original factory welds remained untouched, matching production numbers confirmed authenticity, and hidden mechanical details demonstrated extraordinary restoration accuracy. Historical researchers unexpectedly located forgotten racing documentation connected to the Ferrari's earliest ownership. Excitement spread rapidly throughout the exhibition as experts realized the neglected barn discovery possessed remarkable historical importance beyond ordinary expectations. Auction organizers immediately requested permission to include the Ferrari in a special evening bidding event featuring exceptional collector automobiles. Ethan accepted nervously, hoping only to recover restoration expenses and secure a better future for his son. Victor confidently registered as a bidder, convinced his wealth guaranteed ownership regardless of unexpected attention surrounding the remarkable Ferrari. When bidding opened, excitement filled the auction hall instantly. Offers climbed rapidly from collectors representing museums, private galleries, international investors, and automotive foundations. Every new bid exceeded previous expectations. Ethan watched silently while numbers soared beyond anything he imagined possible. His son squeezed his hand proudly, struggling to understand the extraordinary moment unfolding before their eyes. Victor raised his bidding paddle repeatedly, determined not to lose before such an influential audience. Another collector answered every offer confidently. Soon, multiple international bidders joined through secure telephone connections. The auctioneer's voice echoed dramatically as prices climbed higher. Spectators gasped repeatedly, witnessing one of the most remarkable bidding contests the exhibition had ever experienced together. The Ferrari eventually reached an astonishing $15 million. Victor attempted one final offer, but another collector immediately surpassed it. The auctioneer struck the gavel decisively, announcing the successful sale. Applause erupted throughout the hall. Ethan closed his eyes briefly, overwhelmed with gratitude. Years of patient effort had transformed forgotten metal into an unforgettable, life-changing opportunity for his family. Victor stood silently after losing the bidding war. His earlier confidence disappeared completely. Approaching Ethan afterward, he admitted judging both the car and its owner unfairly. Wealth had taught him prices, but not always value. Ethan accepted the apology graciously, explaining respect mattered far more than victory because genuine character outlasted every expensive automobile ever produced. After completing the sale, Ethan established scholarships supporting young mechanics pursuing restoration careers. He expanded his workshop, creating apprenticeships where experienced professionals trained future craftsmen regardless of financial background. His son proudly welcomed new students daily, remembering the dusty barn where everything began. Together, they proved kindness, perseverance, and humble expertise often uncovered treasures impossible for pride alone to recognize.